So media-based scientific arguments. So in this lesson, we look at the following learning outcome. So students should be able to evaluate media-based arguments concerning science and technology. So this is something that's really important, and a lot of our information we get and a lot of scientific and technology information is presented to the public through the media. So it's important that you're able to evaluate media-based arguments concerning particular scientific topics. So to do that, we're going to look at a form that I've developed as well. And this form here, I'll make it available to you on our site. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to pick, so these are all different sources of media articles in relation to science. So you can pick one and pick an article. And then what I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you to do an analysis of it. And this form here, we can use this form as we're going through and evaluating our particular media article. So it's looking at particular points. Also as well, we've come across this also. So how to tell if a website is credible. So this is a really good useful table that you can use when you're analyzing information. So you can look at, the author, the date, the source, the domain, the site design, and the writing style as well. So things like that you can use to evaluate a particular media source. So I've just went ahead and picked. So I've just basically picked the first one, so theguardian.com, the science section, and I've picked an article, and this is the article here that we will look at. And we look at this together. So COVID vaccines cut global death toll by 20 million in the first year, study finds. So this article is relating to a study that was carried out, and it shows the study shows that the vaccine actually saved the lives of over 20 million people in the first year. That's what a particular study that was carried out, that's what it claims. So first major analysis examines impact across 185 countries since the first jab was administered in December 2020. So we have a look at our form. So as we're going through the article, we want to look at, so include a link to the article you've read here. So all we have to do is just take the link here and we can just copy it and we can paste it into our form like so. Okay, so who wrote the article? So the first thing it asks is who writes the article. So again, the author of an article, it's very important to pay attention to who's actually saying this or who's writing this article. So here it gives us the name of the person that wrote the article. So it's Hannah Devlin. So we can copy her name here. And we can put this in here. And then what we can do is we can actually look at Hannah and see who is Hannah. So when you click, so here you have Facebook, Twitter, and you can actually email Hannah then as well. So if we click on Hannah, so this is her Twitter account. And basically it shows us is that Hannah is a science correspondent for The Guardian. Okay, so Hannah is a science correspondent, so working for a legitimate media company known as The Guardian. Okay, so that's who she is, and she's a science correspondent. So if we go back here, so we want to kind of think about, so do they quote any working scientists in the article? So if we have a look down through the article, so we can and again you're going to read through the article. So we can see here that we have a quote a particular scientist here. So you have Oliver Watson of Imperial College London. Okay, so this is one of the scientists that was involved in this was one of the scientists that was involved in the study. So do they quote any working scientists in the article? Yes, we have this Oliver Watson of Imperial College. So it looks like it was Imperial College that carried out this particular study that this correspondent is writing about. So if we have a look down through here, then we can see that, okay, so and this is the study here. So it does link back to an actual study. So the study was published in the journal Lancet Infectious Diseases and uses official figures. So when we click on this, we can actually open up the particular, the actual study, and this is the actual study here, and then this is one of the authors of this particular, one of the scientists that was involved in the study. So we can see here that he has a PhD. Also as well, if we look at, and these are the other scientists that were also involved in the study as well. So we can see that we have people who are coming from a reputable background. And the study was carried out by Imperial College. So again, if we go onto their website, we can see that they're an official university in the UK, and they're a very reputable university as well. So again, when we're looking at any of these, so these are some of the kind of things that when we're looking at the sites, these are some of the things you want to take into account to evaluate. So the name of the author is given, so it is given in the article and also in the report. The date is given for all research findings that are listed, and it's regularly revised. So the information is coming from a reputable journal. Articles give the source of the information presented, which it does. The article does do that, and so you can tell that the information is not just personal opinion. So that definitely says that. The domain in general websites from universities. So we can see here that this Imperial College is a university, and organisations such as BBC, NASA are more reputable. Some domains such as .com, .org, .net can be purchased and used by any individual. So these are reputable domains, and they're reputable companies, or universities should I say, that are being mentioned in this particular article. And the writing style, so good grammar and spelling are an indication that the site may be credible as well. Okay, so it seems to pass most of these checks here. So what you can do then is do the refer to published scientific research. If so, where was the research carried out? Carried out by Oliver Watson at Imperial College in London. Do you believe the website you've linked to is a reputable source? Very briefly explain why or why not. So again, you can explain and say, talk about the author, the date, the source of information, the domain, the site design, and the writing style. So you can make a comment on that. Give a short synopsis of scientific argument on what you've learned about after reading the article. So you can have a read over this. Like very briefly, if I was to look at this, I've learned that the COVID vaccine actually saved the lives of over 20 million people in the first year of it being administered. And again, I would read this in more detail as well and write in anything that I have learned about the particular article. Is there any bias in the article, and explain with examples? So within the article, I don't think that it's very biased. It's basically, it's on the side of the vaccines, if you like, but it seems to be coming from like a study that was carried out by a university that is not in any way biased, and that just went and carried out the analysis. If we look at the actual study that was carried out, so it talks about the method that was used, and this goes through the method and how it was used. And when you look at this, it seems that it was fairly non-biased in relation to the way that it was carried out. So again, we can use this form and we can fill this out so we can pick a particular article, we can analyze the article, read it, and then go through the form and fill out the form. And also then as well, as we go through and we're looking at websites, we can use this particular check here to check and see like how reputable the particular website is as well. Okay, so these are just some of the tools that you can use when you are analyzing data and looking at media arguments.